what it is. Disappointing across the board. Only Zven really is shining, and he gets, yeah, a wealth of resources. Either he gets them or he just claims them because nobody other than him is really pulling his weight. Anyways, he is the straight up carry from this team, so we need to see if we can get some compositions oriented around him, potentially with that new Kog'Maw pick.
Yeah, we'll see if anybody can get their hands on it. We are on patch 6.3 here in the LCS. We saw a couple of games on Challenger earlier in the week on the same patch. It didn't work out. Kog'Maw banned, so that's taken away from both Zven and MRRallez.
Yeah, mostly because Zven kind of banned out his own Alistar. Nidali is off the table too, so that's the strongest jungler, just like the analyst that's pretty much predicted. Gone. You have to ban Lulu against Origen. And then leaving GP up is a bit of a risk because you're kind of forced to take him early, but then you give away 2 power picks. But still a lot on the table. Corki by no means is bad on this patch. Got a slight nerf, but that's about it.
Yeah, slight nerfs to Alistar as well. Somebody else we've seen pick very early when he's left open and available.
Yeah, but they made his combo easy mode. The only nerf to Alistar combo-wise is if you actually want to use minion taxi when you go to a minion and then pulverize. That is slowed down due to the 100% hit rate of the combo. But if you look at LCK, for example, in a situation like this, we will see the Alistar first pick kind of come out.
Elements decide they want the Lucian instead. So taking Kalista and Kog'Maw, if you can consider those maybe top tier ADCs, leaving the Corki with a small hit, and amazing the insta-lock Gragas. I know that'll make Stress very, very happy over on the analyst desk.
I can literally hear him going division. Told you, man. But yeah, really good early rotation. It does put Soaz in a carry position, and that's something I really wanted to talk about. I feel it may be better for Origen to just put him on tanks. If he's getting low resources anyways, why not put him on something like a Malphite, you know, where it's pure utility, but then you need to get the damage component on amazing, because you generally want to run disengage peel on your support, tank in the top lane, and kind of mirror what G2 is doing. But if you look at Soaz, picks up here, hopefully a carry later on, because otherwise OG will be running out of damage.
Well, I'm just going to throw this out there. We're expecting Amazing to run that Gragas in the jungle, but we've seen some challenger squads running at top lane. Not expecting it now, but saying it is a possibility. And the only repeat champions that Soaz has played have been tanks. 2 games Tahm Kench, 2 games Malphite, and then 1 for a plethora of additional champions. We'll see what he gets his hands on.
Fiora, maybe.
Well, Steve has run Fiora every time it wasn't banned, and he's not going to get the chance to now because Soaz has locked it in. And just quickly, Elise Morgana. So EIKA most likely going to run that Morgana mid. He's done it twice this split as well.
Yeah, Elise Morg is the makings of a good siege catch kind of composition, where you go for picks. And you either go for picks in between the lanes, or you want to siege them on a tower and just throw out the bind, the cocoon, see what sticks, and then follow up. You have poke from the culling too, but you're kind of weak in teamfights. Very, very conditional teamfights. Morgana kind of gets outpaced. People can flash out of the ulti, you know, get rid of it. It's break the black shield and then just one-shot her, so pretty hard champion to play. If he ends up playing it, may go to SPRATTEL in the support role.
We'll see if SPRATTEL plays that. Obviously the hover on TF makes us think that is a possibility. For Origen, Corki, is it going to be PowerEofEvil's hands, or will Zven take that ADC and let the counter pick, or the Orianna pick, an old PoE special?
I think even Origen doesn't know yet. Okay. That's the power of the flex. It depends on how strong the counter pick is in mid lane against this Morgana, who has quite some annoying matchups. She will generally, due to the nature of her kit, do okay in a lot of matchups, but she doesn't punish that hard. She's kind of push in clear, so if you kind of want to farm under your tower with a scaling mage, definitely something you can do into Morgana. If you plan on getting your jungler in the lane, you can pick strong picks, like a LeBlanc maybe, and try to outplay. However, it's very easy play patterns for Morgana to play around that. We've seen Aries being picked in and making it a skill matchup. A lot of options. Morg isn't really that much of a threat.
PowerEofEvil has trended to the Ahri this split. 3 games played. He's not played a single LeBlanc yet. And he's only really shined, if that's a word, on Origen when he's been playing those enabling supporty champions. But the Lulu has been taken away. Let's see what he decides to lock in.
I would like to see
an old UOL special.
I was gonna say I would like to see the Corki mid, because AD carries lane well into Morg and have some mixed damage. Obviously Black Shield can kind of soak up the fast bomb poke, but PowerEofEvil does a little more. This goes for the straight up AD poke on Varus. The problem is though that Black Shield can be used reactively on the ultimate, and it kind of ruins the kill potential. So PowerEofEvil will need to win that lane just by merit of poking EIKA down.
And we'll see if Amazing is going to opt to spend some time with him in that lane. Help him get ahead. Well, take a look at the Elements squad. 2 teleports. and maybe want to set themselves up for a 4-1.
Yeah, definitely a 4-1 here from Elements. If you look at split push Poppy, who can then TP in for flanks, and then obviously the rest just lends itself to a poke siege come. You say right there 4-1. The 4 guys are just going to group up. Janna shield the Lucian. Hopefully he can whack away at the tower. You have disengage from the Janna, and you're fishing for binds for basically poking people down. At the other side, double 80 carry poke with a carry in the top lane. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Also a 4-1. So the crucial matchup here will be the Fiora into the Poppy. A lot easier right now for Fiora because Poppy got nerfed quite a bit. So the combo potential, you know, from Steve. Later on, obviously, Fiora wins, but we've seen that clip, you know, where I think it was it Huni in NA that just one-shots Hanser without him even touching him.
Yeah.
That's the ideal world, but there are certain points where Fiora just dumpsters the matchup, especially level 16 Fiora is just so hard to deal with.
Level 16, got to get to level 16 first.
Unless Poppy gets the QSS, then it kind of switches around again.
Well, we'll find out if the QSS happens. There is Origin World semi-finalist at risk of not even making playoffs. Currently in that 6th battle here with Elements. And you know, Soaz is a man that has received a lot of criticism this split. And he's got the opportunity to maybe silence some of those critics as we get closer to playoffs, because he's running out of time.
He is playing a very sensitive matchup though, so we need to see if Amazing can enable him, because 2v2, Poppy and Elise can definitely lock Soaz down, but in terms of counter gank with the Gragas, Amazing can come in and ruin that plan too.
Well, Steve has practiced on this Poppy already. One game played, won it. He went 1-0-8, unkilled in his performance, and we've already got some deep vision being placed by both squads.
Yeah, if you're wondering why this is kind of happening, Origin prompted it by moving into the enemy jungle deep. They want to get that ward out of here so they can see who's in the lane. Don't want to get it killed. Don't know, guess they want to fight. Anyways, the reason they're doing this is because obviously Lucian Janna will dumpster Alistar Corki. You can lane, maybe starting heal and then lane on their tower, but you will always be under pressure. And the way the pro players talk about it this game, or these days, is talking about prio. So there will be bot prio on Lucian Janna. Very often when you play with them, you'll hear like Nuktuk say, yeah, I got mid prio, which means you can always push out first. You can react to the plays first. And Lucian Janna is just an incredibly strong lane. They're looking to match the swap here, predicted, but they pass over a ward. Janna could face check Alistar here. Let's see what Origin are going to do. They understand that it's too far to run down to the bottom lane for them, so they kind of go top. But I still think this should be a rough matchup.
Going to be a challenge, especially when you consider that triumphant roar, the E on Alistar, 4 seconds longer at all ranks, thanks to 6.3 as part of the nerf batch.
Yeah, and that punishes this very this passive lane approach that you could do with Alistar. It's kind of, we'll wait for somebody to overextend Q flash in them and then just trying to win the lane. And in the meanwhile, we'll just spam heals. But it's a little harder to pull off now if MRRallez and SPRATTEL can correctly use the matchup.
So, MRRallez and SPRATTEL, we'll find out. Early pulverize from Mithy there. Not really finding a mark, but I don't think that's hugely impactful at the time. And it looks like the wave is pushing towards OG anyway.
Yeah, a slight push due to poke. That's what's going to happen. The problem is you can still get poked on a tower. If you looked at the keystones here, we saw Deathfire touch on the Varus. Obviously, poke in the mid lane. PowerEofEvil wants to focus as much as he can. He is running cleanse. Yeah, this is what we'll see more. It's Nado into dash auto. Mithy won't kind of have the QW combo until level 3 because he has the skill heal here. So Elements is fine in the top lane. We don't really need to watch that because it'll just be a repetition of that exact kind of trading pattern. More so in the bottom lane, which jungler can get here first and influence this lane, and can these top laners kind of dodge the ganks by correct minion manipulation, you know, make it push to you if you need to be safe, kind of push it in so you have some minion trade advantage when you know you're safe, etc.
Soaz has some minion manipulation in his favor. That siege minion gonna push towards him somewhat.
It's safety, but if he wants to trade against Steve, obviously every time you auto attack you draw minion aggro, and then this happens. Luckily for him, he knows he has the backup from the jungler, so he can take risky trades.
The question you pose, Crepo, which jungler will get here first? A resounding answer of Amazing. First blood is in the making. Soaz finds the link. Flash body slam. And that just looked flawless.
Yeah, instant flashed after the body slam from Amazing. You have to go for that. If Poppy flashes there, that could be a really good counter gank for Gilius. But yeah, Soaz, he took the trades early just to make Steve push, and he didn't fight back. Maybe he couldn't.
Yeah.
Either way, Origin played it out perfectly. Really good opening.
In picks and bans, one of the question marks or powers that this Varus had into a Morgana was ability to shove him out. and EIKA's already backing.
Yeah, and PowerEofEvil, it's the hard point for Morgana up to level 5 because her pool doesn't instantly clear the wave. So you kind of need to auto-attack, but if you auto-attack, you stand still. And obviously Varus is a superior auto-attack champion than Morgana. It all makes sense, so until you get like level 5, level 7, and you can insta-pull the wave over and over, you will lose these trades. That's why we see the CS disadvantage. What likely happened is EIKA puts pull down, has to back off from 2 or 3 CS every wave, while PowerEofEvil can comfortably farm, especially if he knows where the jungle is.
Yeah, and I think PowerEofEvil's going to be even more comfortable in this matchup because he picked Cleanse. So if he decides to eat a spell, which he's been quite known for, he can just cleanse it and then flash away. So hopefully, we'll see if he can pull that one off. I do make a little joke about it because PowerEofEvil has had a week of good flashes and then a week of bad flashes, and maybe over-eager at protecting that
he has failed at crucial moments at flashing, and hopefully it's learned from it. Gilius clearing double ward here, so good synergy here by mid-jungle. You cut one down. One more will take his place.
That's it.
Kill Wardra.
Never ending. But Soaz, he's the one that has to overextend a little bit. Gigantic minion wave behind him.
And they know, because the minion wave is pushing out. They saw Gilius in the river. This is completely telegraphed, so Gilius needs to know that Origen knows. And this has to be a 2v2. Let's see if they respect it.
We will find out. Gilius is still hanging around. Flash available. Steve is still holding onto his as well. Steadfast Presence comes out. Amazing body slams onto Gilius. Puts the barrel down. The slow applies instantly on 6.3. Repel up, and Soaz has taken so much damage. The riposte blocks a lot, but it will not block enough to save his life. Amazing. Tries to get a reply back before stunned against the wall. A double kill for Steve.
And a pumped up Gilius in the player camp. Like, yeah, that was... You have to wonder, was that the right target to go for? Should you body slam onto the Elise, who then has repel available? I'm not quite sure. Interesting targeted prioritization. Good outplay there in the end by Elements. Buying enough time, flashing away right before he dies, while Poppy whacks away. 2 kills on Steve right now, and that initial gank and CS deficit roughly equal out.
It has actually 100 gold more in favor of Soaz thanks to the CS. So Steve, all of a sudden, from being behind, is now bang on even. Very big hit with Mithy and Zven onto MRRallez, burning through that Eye of the Storm, rather.
Yeah, they're using the minion wave in their advantage, because generally when you combo aggressively, you open yourself up for a counter trade right after. But because you counter trade into minions, that becomes a problem. Let's watch this again. Steve in the brush, Amazing could whack him here. Use all the minions are focusing Steve right now. That damage isn't being traded over onto the enemy Elise. Soaz drops, Gilius gets chased down by Amazing. He could have actually ran there too, but he just wants to go 1-for-1 on the kill, give it to Steve. So that is just a mistake from Origen, but a good execution from Elements.
Who's making that call? Like, you know...
That had to be Amazing.
Okay.
He went for the target.
Right.
You never know, obviously, if Soaz says, okay, when he comes in, we go for Elise. That could be a pre-made call too.
Yeah.
But you have to be flexible in those situations. When 7 minions are whacking away on a top laner, and you can just one-shot him, by all means, go for it.
Yeah. Maybe a little... respectful of that Steadfast Presence, who knows? We'll have to see how it impacts the game. Yeah?
He just used it, right
it was used earlier, just before in the bush. Forgot about that. That's right, you're here to cover for me, Crapo. Well, Steve, anyway, ends up getting the 2 kills. Staying close and relevant. Going the tanky route versus the damage route from Soaz with the Tiamat. And we caught a glimpse of Zven into MRRallez. Zven, even though in a losing matchup, still has a higher CS value than his opposite number.
Yep. Definitely really good CSing here by Zven, and again, Alistar was nerfed, but if you don't believe punish it, the state is good to hear it. CC into CC into imminent death.
And Soaz, face-bombing, did not flash the stun, walked into the river to maybe clear a ward out, and pays with it for his life.
Yeah, lack of synergy. Sometimes you just have to yield the wave, you know, wait for your jungler to come in, help you, because now the thing is, when you die, when your jungler is close, and we'll get to that later because the jungler is close to the blue buff, Gilius steals it away.
And that's a big deal for PowerEofEvil, not being able to span out those piercing arrows.
And EIKA's going to try and zone him from the wave too. Things are getting a lot worse here from Origen. It's the snowball effect downwards. If you die when your jungler is close, it's the worst that could happen. Because he will path through the other side of the map to finish his camps. More action in the top lane.
Mithy, I think, held on to his Pulverize, has been knocked up into the SPRATTEL Challenge. The Monsoon, no ultimate available for Mithy. 300 hit points. MRRallez has gone forward, a defensive flash from Mithy, and it is all fallen apart.
Yeah, really good aggressive trade here from Mr. MRRallez. Didn't quite need that Monsoon to knock them out of the culling, but they're still showing why this Janna Lucian matchup is so hard to deal with. If you make one mistake positioning, use your combo at the wrong time, you get punished so incredibly hard, especially at level 6. when the all-in potential is gone due to the reset of the Monsoon.
Now we need to test the mindset of both teams. Origen came out, read the early game well, and secured first blood with Soaz. But Gilius, with a great counter gank and some mistake targeting from Origen, has kept this game even. We saw Zven pick up the package, return to lane very quickly. And Crapper, we were talking off-air about sort of the mindset of elements coming into this game. They're clearly better than the teams below them, but they also seem to swing really hard. Whether they hit or not is a different story. Also, Gilius accidentally secures that blue buff.
Yeah. Accidentally.
Yep.
Just like in solo queue. Oops. Yeah. Accidentally used my Q there to execute the blue buff, you know.
Well, either way, that means both EIKA and PowerEofEvil denied blue. Amazing.
Gilius is like, enemy Morg didn't, or enemy Varus didn't get blue buff. You know, fight at even ground, you know. And now I've
Prove your worth, man. Prove your worth. Take on PowerEofEvil toe-to-toe.
I like the pink wards at the side. Look at the, you know, it's kind of the catwalk of pink wards that can now enable the roam. EIKA late on the Black Shield.
So here's a late, gets rooted in place. Teleport comes out from Steve into the middle lane, and Amazing has tanked up 2 or 3 turret shots. Steve gets knocked away, and okay, so they got teleport out of Steve at the cost of only a Varus ultimate and some time.
Yeah, really good instant TP by Steve. Debatable whether you should cancel it or not. Errs on the side of caution. Like that he's instantly reacting when his teammates get caught there. Really good synergy. And again, those pink wards means when EIKA gets the push, he can walk into river and he will immediately put pressure onto Soaz. And then, even though he might not gank him, Soaz has to deal with a couple CS here and there. We see Elements take down the Dragon right now. They have complete river control on this bot side of the map due to the ganks.
Oh, Steve walking into again. Steve is in trouble. The stun doesn't connect though, so Soaz can continue to walk out, flashes out of steadfast presence, but a successful gank nonetheless in favor of Gilius.
And yeah, this, the power of Elements is vision denial here. They've just taken away most of the wards, and by the time Soaz sees them, it's too late to react, and he kind of has to burn his flash.
I have to give some props here to PowerEofEvil, with the exception of that piercing arrow. He continues to poke out EIKA, keep him on the back foot, which limits maybe the power of an aggressive play if Gilius decides to come that route. And everywhere we look, Elements is just slowly starting to take control of each lane.
Yeah, and Gilius is showing what, because his top lane is self-sustainable. Mid lane can always kind of get most of the wave without kind of needing help. So Gilius can focus all his attention onto Steve and making sure that Soaz eventually slips up and makes a mistake. Even though he can technically read every gank, back off. If you make him back off of enough CS, that is in essence worth, because it tilts the matchup forward, and then Steve can take more abuse. He is still down 9 CS though.
Yeah, it was 20 at one point, so...
Look at Gilius. Soaz knows, but there's nothing he can do about it, and he needs his team to help him in this case. This is one of the examples where there's very little to blame at Soaz himself, because it's a team game. Now Amazing has to take a cross-map play and see if he can make a dive, but incredibly hard onto Janna.
Yeah, Amazing does have his ultimate available. Will get spotted up by the pink ward, so MRRallez and SPRATTEL can play this defensively. If a gank were to happen, Soaz could TP in, but MRRallez and SPRATTEL have moved away. And look at where Soaz is. He's not even in range of his own minion wave.
Yeah, a really good pressure play here from Origen as a reaction. They've lost the bot side of the map, so they go top side. I want to trade towers. Let's see if Soaz TP's away, though. That exposes the tier 2. So Origen have to watch out a little bit. Now Steve opens up on the map, though. Has no teleport, but he can technically roam mid. Set up some dive pressure here. So many plays can be made.
Despite the CS advantage that Soaz had, it's evened out, and Soaz is actually underleveled in contrast to Steve. Just behind, maybe half a wave to a wave. Taking a look through the rest. PowerEofEvil going to get close to level 11 as well, so going to be maxing out on that piercing arrow. Got himself the man immune, starting to stack up. And we are on 6-3, so I just want to take a look at Amazing. He's actually gone for the Cinder Hulk in the jungle. We saw a lot of Runic Echoes Gragas from the Challenger series. I can see Gilius has picked it up in Elise, a little more standard, if you say that.
I like Amazing as a tank player, usually because he does enable Soaz to play carry champions, which traditionally, in my opinion, he was better on, but the kind of framework around it is falling apart. In this style that Origen kind of likes to play recently, perhaps it would have been wiser to put him on a tank, Amazing on the carry, and Snowball maybe the 2v2 top lane or the mid lane. EIKA is kind of just, yeah, it's trading farm at this point.
And MRRallez is going to be trading hit points. Zven, he's slowed. The culling gets channeled. I think almost every bullet connected. Zven holds on to his summoner spells, but Gilius is around. Gonna eat one of those rocket barrages down. Howling Gale from SPRATTEL. If it catches CC, Gilius can follow it up. There's support coming. A knock up onto Zven, but nobody goes forward. And MRRallez will eat a pulverize from Mithy. Nothing further happening, but Steve also is left position to go mid.
Yeah, Elements in poke siege mode, 3-man on the top tower, some zone in the middle lane away on PowerEofEvil. Obviously, they don't want to siege mid because they can't. That's why they move into the enemy jungle and they want to put pressure on this top tower.
And everybody's coming. There's a teleport available from EIKA, not even going to be needed, as he and Steve have actually run all the way up the river. And what do Origen get in reply? There's some farm for PowerEofEvil, and now Soaz is pushed down bottom.
Origen have time. They successfully cleared the wave, so the wave was 20 seconds away. Now approaching about 5 seconds it'll hit. They send Soaz to the bottom lane to trade pressure. Maybe they can get Steve's teleport now, and then a minute or two from now make a teleport play. That is deep play for Origen, because due to the really good methodical kind of moves that Elements did on the map, they have opened up that top tower.
The Elements have done a lot of good moves. You know, it is an early game. There's no lane swap.
Not all of them were destined to work, but they were proactive. They kind of went for the play. They made the best plays they could make in these situations. That gank 2v2 in the bottom lane, it had to happen from both sides. Origen were just favored to win it. Due to a minor misplay, Elements got out on top, but that's all you can ask for. Make the best play you can in a situation, and Elements is more or less doing that this game.
Now the pressure really gets turned on, with the outer turret starting to fall more rapidly, the map starting to feel a little more open. How do they prioritize the decision making? Where do the teams go? And Origen have started to come online. Soaz with that Phage, Trinity Force for Zven with the Sork shoes.
And then we see the mobility boots here on Mithy picked up, straying away from Boots of Swiftness. Obviously got changed. They're more expensive, so Mithy revaluing mobility boots here.
Let's see if we can actually impact any of those side lanes. Amazing again, looking to set up some sort of play on the flank. The rest of OG going to shove the tower in, but there's a lot of support from Elements, so they're around in time. Chain of Corruption, either early, I didn't quite see it connected.
Probably just wanted to be safe.
Better safe than sorry, right?
We saw the power of the 4-1. Whoever groups their 4 first has a little bit of pressure of poke. Soaz was pushing in the bottom lane. Steve has been on point by using this steadfast presence here to stop these dashes. However, Soaz isn't alone this time. He brought some members to the party. That leaves 2 in mid though. A double wave clear. They should be fine.
Oh, that is such a cheeky Howling Gale into a dark binding, and Zven eats everything.
They're not fine. They're dead. Really beautiful Howling Gale. Predicting the general position one would stand in when one wants to clear the wave in the mid lane. Really outplayed there, and this is something we're not used to seeing from Zven, because when he's in his top form, he would actually flash at NATO.
Not something we're used to seeing from really Elements either. Cheeky positioning, punishing the lack of vision maybe. And Elements, they get themselves up. Look, winding up on the right-hand side. Howling Gale connects, but EIKA had fired the Dark Binding too early. Could have held on to it.
When I was in Elements, one of our team activities for team bonding was bowling. Perhaps they took SPRATTEL bowling. Turned out to be a bowling god.
That is next level.
Because we've seen him play Janna before, and
we've seen this before as well, Crepo. Soaz is in trouble. He's going to get pinned against the wall. Steadfast Presence should be available shortly. Not even available yet. A defensive flash. 2 or 3 to follow. Howling Gale plus Cocoon. And it's MRRallez that gets the connection. Look, Elements invested a lot, but they got their man.
Yeah, when we were talking about 4-1 compositions, we weren't even thinking about the fact that Elements would just send 4 on Origen's 1 Soaz. Soaz is like, guys, that's not how 4-1 works, guys. Please get something on the map, but there's no counter pressure from Origen, and they're just leaving Soaz to dry.
Yeah, they are, and you can see that the tower is on fire. On patch 6.3, the second Dragon buff has been changed. So from additional damage to towers, it is now a damage over time. Set to the light, as you can see. And Elements are the first team on the LCS stage to take advantage of that tweak.
Yeah, EIKA takes down the middle turret. Again, makes that lane longer. Now allows for Elements to get deep vision in. So it's up to Origen to defend that. Let's watch that again. Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh, it's Dark Binding. And that's a dead one. Especially because MRRallez can always dash in aggressively because there's Black Shield available to allow those plays. He has double support for him, which kind of really allows him to shine. MRRallez generally just a consistent in the backline AD carry. Now he needs to see if he can aggressively dash forward.
Defensive Chain of Corruption puts a lot of damage on Mr. L. Serrated Dirk, Man Immune, 2 additional longswords. Also, I just caught a glimpse of Gilius in that replay, Crepo. He just missed a cocoon onto PowerEofEvil, but there could have even been additional follow-up if that had found a target. So Origen now have to play from behind, down 2,000 gold as we get closer and closer to 20 minutes. Amazing invested some resources into helping Soaz early. And now Soaz is still looking good. Got the Black Cleaver, has teleport available, can eventually become the split push threat. Closer to level 16.
Yep. Just the goal is experience right now. Experience and trying to stay even on CS there with the pop peak, and then look for the outplay later. Use the riposts, maximum benefit. That play pattern we saw in the mid lane is what we want to see from PowerEofEvil. Couple of auto attacks, apply the blight, and then when they try to run away, shoot an arrow in their back, proc those stacks. Suddenly you have control of the matchup. Origen looking to siege mid. No instant wave clear. It takes a while for pool to take effect, especially on moving minion waves. So we need to see if Elements can get some backup in the mid lane here from the culling, or if they're looking to push some other lanes. Origen looking to push.
That's a big advantage for Origen. The Varus Corki, they can defend for days. A flash forward into Soul Shackles. EIKA's looking for a stun. Gets to both Mithy and Amazing. The Dark Binding also pins Zven down. A Cocoon just falls short, but Steve is teleported in. He's held Zven against the wall, and that's a killing spree for Steve. Mithy forced to flash away. He's already burned through the Unbreakable Will. And where is Soaz? The call was tower. He's going to trade teammates' life for an outer turret. Can Elements take more? Yeah,
Soaz looking to take a tier 1 here. Elements setting up the siege. A lot of disengage has been used in the mid lane, and that was actually a really good combo, making use of the Howling Gale and the pool together to keep those minions in place. Moving minion waves have a hard time being killed by Morgana, but if you lock them right outside of tower range with that Howling Gale again from SPRATTEL, you can clean that wave. That prompted Origen stepping forward to kind of keep the minions alive. Instant flash engage from EIKA. He knew he had the support from his top laner. Soaz was nowhere to be found, and Elements, they're working as a team. All that dynamic hue is paying off.
Decisive, proactive play from Elements. And they've extended their gold lead. It's now 3,000. The inner turrets are now down in the middle lane. And I want to see Elements take the next step. Let's get some deep vision. They've got 2 blue trinkets. Push forward to then set up for those inner turrets, either top or bottom lane.
Yeah, they may want to swap those blue trinkets, especially when you're playing against the poke comp, and you don't really get punished by just hard engage when you face check a brush. You can still eat some poke, but you want to leave long-lasting yellow trinkets in the enemy jungle, supplement that with Sidestone wards, then have a wall of pink wards around the Baron.
3 of them in the inventory already, so step 1 at least complete for Elements. Zven
hit again.
It's another Dark Binding. Soul Shackles comes out. He's going to Valk away. Amazing gets knocked up. The barrel actually sends EIKA slightly to safety. But look at Zven on your player cam. Feeling some of the pressure. He had no flash available. Maybe just caught out a little by surprise.
Soaz completely in the dark, by the way. Putting pressure. He just knows that he has to kind of get something done in the bottom lane. If he can buy time to maybe drag away 2 or 3 Elements members, and he's allowing Origen to kind of survive here in the middle of the lane, maybe take that tower down.
Despite the CS advantages, oh, Body Slam doesn't find anybody. Soaz is still behind in total gold, thanks to the additional kills and towers that Steve and Elements have been able to secure. So, Origen
goes down. That should be dead tower now.
Episode number 2, gonna siege up. There's no teleport from Steve. Mithy decides to go aggressive, catches Gilius out. The Hail of Arrows secures a kill. Origen, can they go for the objective?
It took a while. Origen weren't quite sure how many members they were playing against, seemingly. They were afraid of EIKA being around somewhere. That's why they didn't walk up immediately, but then when he didn't show for a while, they just, yeah, they pulled the trigger. Engaged. Instant Chain of Corruption hits, and then spreads out.
So, no chain, no Unbreakable Will, no culling either. Very big hits. But that rapid fire cannon, hey, Amazing takes the Dark Binding with him. And Mr. Rall's valuing the additional range on rapid fire cannon versus the additional damage and Shiv. I want to see how many ADCs go the Shiv routes, and whether we're going to see that wave clear side become more impactful for them.
Yeah, impressive aggressive defense here from Mr. Rallez. Kind of was the sole wave clear in that equation. Yes, he gets some backup from his Janna, but not afraid to play at the front lines. Lady carry, generally more of a backline player. Definitely stepping up this game. Composition obviously catered around enabling him. Double CC, triple CC around him in the 4-1. 2 shields at his disposal. He has to make it work.
Yeah, there's not a lot of room for error. Luckily, Steve is getting very beefy. Iceborne Gauntlet, Sunfire Cape as well. So he's going to be an additional frontline member that can disrupt.
If he joins the fight.
If he joins the fight,
obviously.
Yeah. Teleport will be available soon, so that option's going to be up.
Yeah, so when he joins, he kind of wants to have the home guards available and maybe look for some more flanks, because knocking on the front door, binds are dodgeable, cocoons are kind of dodgeable, but Steve coming from behind with Steadfast Presence kind of shuts down so many of these ways of Origen to get out of the fight. He can just wait for somebody to panic flash and chase after them.
So do you think it's fair to say that Element's team comp should still do very well up until maybe the inhibitor turrets, and then it comes a little more linear if OG can disengage, can find a way to clear the waves quickly enough?
I mean, in the current meta, most compositions do well up to that point and then require Baron to close out, because teams have been so good at just kind of spotting the mini rotation, especially in a 1-3 in a 4-1 versus 4-1. Because the wave clear side is almost too easy. So you really need something to buff up those minions. And even then, if Origen successfully stall, PowerEofEvil has physical wave clear. Obviously, Baron buff does not affect that. But at least it allows Elements to then open up the split push. Instead of 4-1, perhaps make it a 1-3-1. You can only have Varus in one lane, and one other lane has to kind of fall at that point. That's when Origen will obviously counter-strike. But that's a little too far in the future. We don't even have Baron yet.
I want to see if Elements can pull off something like that as well. How quickly do they get to the Baron? How quickly do they try set up the 1-3-1? Thornmail now completed for Steve against a lot of the auto-attack heavy champions, even though Zven is doing a lot of magic damage. And PowerEofEvil fight out a Chain of Corruption. Nobody died, so we can assume it remains one of the most missed skill shots in the entire game.
Yeah, some good vision denial here at the jungle entrances from Origen. Double pink ward setup. Again, buying some time in case Elements wants to move in for that deep vision. But they still have some tier 2 towers left to take. That seems to be their goal. Steve pushing in bot. Potential rotation being like doubted here. Do we go for it or not? A little hesitation on the side of Elements, because they're not leaving any deep vision on the way out. SPRATTEL's Sidestone seems empty. So they're moving to Baron now without the proper setup. And Soaz is kind of pushing the top lane. This is Elements being a little lost and having 2 little wards to make a full map play, like a map impact. They want it all. They want to have the cake and eat it too.
They haven't had the veggies yet, so no dessert. And Origen are going to be happy. They continue to stall.
Educational LCS. Children, eat your veggies. Then you can get Baron Asher.
You can grow big and strong, be as pretty as Crepo. And for Soaz, almost level 16. That was my big point in picks and bans. Like, you got to get there first. We're almost there, Crepo.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job, kind of just split pushing all the time. Obviously, playing PvE. Origen are hanging on, but the gold gap hasn't really increased. 2,000 has it been for the longest time. Deep wards haven't really increased. No towers have gone down except that tier 2 in mid lane, so Elements struggling with the next step.
Let's see how quickly they figure it out. It did connect. Body Slam does too. Knocks the barrel back. Gilius should still have Repel available. Has opted not to use it. Steve is coming to teleport in from the back. A defensive flash from Zven. No stun, but Zven will get taken out. Rallez gets the kill. A 2-man knockup from Keeper's Verdict, and he will keep Origen in place. Steve's not done yet. Mr. Rallez flashes away. He's been run down by Soaz. Soaz tries to get the grand challenge. Will heal up shortly. Continues to stay alive. Steve finds a pin against the wall. Soaz is looking to lunge forward. Still staying alive before finally Soaz takes him down. A 4-for-2, and Origen go to Baron.
And suddenly Origen, Soaz is sitting on 3 kills right now. 3, 3, and 2, completely back in the game. They're starting Baron. Only Sprattle remains, and he has no mana. He's gonna get one tornado right here to knock all 3 members up. Hopefully get some Baron damage. But Mithy,
Sprat goes down. Baron should still be easily secured here. Slightly slow, maybe enough time for Zven to pick it up.
They're waiting right now. That's 5-man Baron.
I cannot wait to see a replay of that to see exactly what impact Soaz had, because it was phenomenal.
Yeah, anytime now, guys. Soaz was actually a little late there with the teleport. The problem was that Elements used all their gunpowder on the first shot, and then Fiora came in. Gilius, this is a good CC chain by Amazing here. Going for the flash over the Spiderlings, else his body slam would have been stopped. And knocks him in. Steve teleports in, flash from Zven. Gets taken down here. EIKA with the ulti on both carries. Good. Pop the ulti. When these 2 guys fall, usually you win the fight, but Amazing, his base damages are so high, and the remaining members of Elements took so much damage early, including that fail flash here from SPRATTEL, that there was just nothing left in the tank to deal with Soaz, and he has that repetitive lifesteal. If you don't have the burst to take down a Fiora, late game, combined with her ultimate, she can just sustain up in these fights, and that's exactly what happened. Look at Soaz right now, going on Steve, no QSS to get rid of the ultimate, and suddenly Soaz, who was struggling,
is in charge completely. Guardian Angel picked up, Grand Challenge times out. The barrel pins SPRATTEL against the wall, and the riposte, I believe, called the Cocoon. Soaz isn't done yet, he's looking for more. He's gonna dash actually into the Dark Binding. GA has been popped. EIKA's Soul Shackles gets broken as Amazing gets out of range from the tether. Soaz dashes forward, finds a Vital, and sends EIKA golden. Uses, believe, the Mikhail's Crucible to break away from the Cocoon. And there is at least a reply back onto Amazing. OG, they went deep.
Yeah, they went super deep. Zven straight up dropped his package on top of Steve right there. Took him down in that exchange, but then they kind of chased a little bit too deep. EIKA came in with a good zone, he has to buy some time. But Origen suddenly looking decisive. All it took them was a 5-man Baron, and suddenly they're playing the game.
They really are. Get themselves 2 kills. Yes, they lost Amazing, but they get an inner turret, and they go from being 3k gold down to 4k gold up. And I look forward to seeing the total gold in this Baron power play, because it is a very big swing.
Yeah, and we can see Mithy as well. Hasn't missed a single combo because it's incredibly hard to miss nowadays. The only way you can miss it is if you just accidentally press Q first. Who would do that? I would never know. Never happened to me, at least in solo queue. Graphical errors.
Graphical errors indeed.
4th dragon here though for Elements, let's not forget. Potential win condition. Soaz flanking though. EIKA has teleport, but he's still waiting to base. They want to teleport him with Morgana on a flank with home guards, but it's has to be quick.
Happen. The piercing arrow fired out. Soaz used the Grand Challenge under SPRATTEL, but he's able to walk away. Soaz, no GA. Keeper's Verdict will delay the inevitable, but not by much as Steve is dropped. EIKA has already used those Soul Shackles, and Soaz can look to re-engage. Body Slam falls just a little short. Amazing's lost some weight on that Gragas. Piercing arrow won't steal the Raptor camp either.
Yeah, it was a good idea from Elements, but EIKA was too late into the base to really go in for that teleport. Elements needed him sooner, and OG with zero hesitation playing that fight. Instant cleanse this time from PowerEofEvil too. They take one down and then look to siege down in the mid lane.
I really like that. Cleanse from PowerEofEvil, Mikhail's from Mithy, QSS from Soaz, and GA. So all of these tools to break what essentially is the only way they can lose this game, by eating a Cocoon or a Dark Binding and not being able to follow up.
Yeah, and Origen in these fights, because they are so, I wouldn't say telegraph predictable, they already know it's coming. They're positioning so well that it's incredibly hard for Steve to find walls to knock them into. And if Poppy can't really connect that stun, it's a really hard time to combo. Here's teleport number 2 though. Steve comes back in. Can he find a wall?
Well, he's found Mithy. Unbreakable Will comes out. It's bought enough time for Origen to regroup. Baron goes low. It's number 4 secured by Elements. We'll touch on what it does in a second. Look at the top lane. Soaz continues to pressure.
Yeah, 2 TPs down. Soaz is alone in the top lane. You're playing against Poke. Maybe Origen can cancel some bases here. Instead though, they're going for the bottom push. They know Soaz is drawing members towards him. So Origen looking to trade. Look at Soaz backing off. This is the Origen that we used to seeing. Operating in synergy on 2 lanes, 3 lanes at once, chipping away at these towers.
And Soaz still has his teleports available. If any shenanigans happen, the potential to reprise attack is there. Body slam onto Gilius, he gets knocked forward. No teleport yet. Look at Soaz, he's on the inhib.
Yeah, they can sell Amazing. They don't care if he dies right here. He actually managed to survive with Flash, but Soaz is still going back at it in the top lane. Elements is getting pushed left, right, center soon as well, and they just can't find enough manpower to deal with the split push.
Yeah, they can't do the hokey pokey and dance quickly enough to deal with Origen, and Soaz has pulled even further ahead. Super minions in the top lane, plus 4,500 gold on that power play, which is simply gigantic. And I actually just caught a glimpse there. Soaz is plus 70 CS over Steve, Crepo.
And that is, hang on, Soaz, don't disappoint us right now. High band, Skullcrab. Yeah, that's kind of a product of Elements forcing these fights, using Steve as a flanking tool, but just not quite getting there. And obviously Soaz being a little slower in the TP, seeing, does my team survive? Yes, now I can add split push pressure. And that's exactly how we got back into the game. Origen helped him a little bit early, forsaked him a little later. He got down. But he kept split pushing this time, and it worked. Elements was unable to push the necessary amount of deep vision in the quadrant above Baron. Couldn't claim it. Went for a risky play, and Origen with some good team fighting turned it around.
It's great to see Origen successfully making map plays and calls as a team, also as being in the right place at the right time. enabling those decisions.
Yeah, we still have to wonder though, because Origen, they are the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
They are above the bottom 4, but they are the last of the top 6. And is this gameplay enough to really challenge some of these top 6 teams? Would a team like Unicorns of Love, Vitality, have pushed forward, opened up the enemy jungle, and kind of taken control rather, and claimed that Baron, and then we could have seen an entirely different game.
Chicken or the egg? Which came first? This is one of those questions. Does this make Elements
How
look
is this
good?
a chicken and the egg?
Hold on. The same concept.
All right.
Does this make Elements look good or Origen look bad when you consider the context of the game? Because I think it's a little bit of both.
Volcano lost those. Quick shot.
MRRallez is left on defensive duty in the top lane. Clear out those supers. Taking stock of teleport. So EIKA's got his. Steve will have his momentarily. 20 seconds till Baron is back up. And OG could play the safe game, get Baron, and then push down to multiple lanes again.
I mean, they just want to get the Baron while Soaz is still split pushing, because the remaining 4v4 right now, Origen should be a little bit stronger, and especially in the 1v1, Origen should be stronger. GA available in case an oopsie happens. Cyanide likes to call it. Loving the term.
Sounds much cuter when he says it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not finished. There's a pink ward in the pit, by the way. Origen have yet to spot that. You very rarely in this like starred meta kind of ward the Baron pit. Origen find out by packaging in. That's one way to clear a ward, heroically. That's Zven.
There's no way to look better than that. I think Soaz is able to shove Steve away from that lane. Getting even beefier. Gonna take an inner turret. Look how much respect Steve is giving Soaz in the picture-in-picture.
And look at how much respect, or lack of respect, Soaz has for the vision. He has one ward, one pink ward. But his team is doing a good job counting the dots. We see 4, that means you have 1, therefore you can fight. Origen finally in communication here with each other. Playing the split push well so far. The last 10, 15 minutes, Origen have actually played pretty well.
Yeah.
Despite the early loss. That goal deficit has been turned out into a lead. PowerEofEvil looking to kind of catch somebody with Chain of Corruptions here.
Yeah, a little bit of respect. Ghostblade to get away from Gilius. Soaz focusing down the tower. He will get stunned. Holds on to Mercurial Scimitar.
Little fancy footwork here from Origen. They path for a rotation on the dead top lane inhibitor. Maybe just going for a Nexus Tower if Elements took the safe pathway to face check Baron. If you want to face check Baron, you got to go from mid lane. That would have left their base entirely exposed, but they take the safe path and kind of go into their own jungle. And they lose the Nexus Tower. This pressure here from Origen, without even fighting, they're maneuvering Elements into positions where the best play they can do is lose the Nexus Tower.
The threat of the punch is still powerful enough for Origen to dictate where everyone goes. Double teleports.
1 home guards. Origen need to disengage, and then Soaz will take the base.
They have disengaged. Soaz is looking on the Nexus, on the inhibitor. There's 1 Nexus turret remaining. Elements have committed to the Baron, but at what cost? Amazing still has an explosive cask available, and Steve's Keeper's verdict found nobody. The cask will be used to split up Elements. Soaz has not committed yet. Teleport still available.
If Soaz TPs, this game is over. They're taking a risky fight here because Elements will get Baron.
Instead, Soaz is looking for the Nexus. A flash over the wall. Baron secured by Elements. Soaz simply doesn't care. If Origen can keep Elements busy, the Nexus is down. Soaz is hammering away. Elements, they completely lost focus, and Soaz is going to finish this one off.
Nobody in base, he got it!
There's no one to finish it, and Soaz steals the Nexus.